I'm Young Buzz. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about the most exciting, heart-pounding, and history-making moments in K-pop. And today, we're celebrating something that just proves Twice is truly unstoppable. We're talking career-high achievements, breaking their own records, and doing it in their 10th anniversary year. Yes, you heard that right. 10 years into their career, and they're still setting new personal bests. Let's get into it. So here's the news. Billboard just released its latest chart dated August 16th, and Twice ranked 69th on the Hot 100 with their song Strategy. And if you're not familiar with Billboard's Hot 100, it's basically one of the toughest music charts in the world to get into, especially for non-English songs. It tracks the most popular songs in the United States across all genres, using streaming, radio play, and sales data. So the fact that Twice is not only on the chart but climbing, that's huge. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Strategy comes from their 14th mini-album and is also part of the original soundtrack for Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters. The song first entered the Hot 100 at number 92 on August 2nd. Then it climbed to 74th on the 9th. And now, on the chart for the 16th, it's sitting at number 69. That means it didn't just hold its place. It actually reversed its ranking and moved up again. For a K-pop girl group that's been around for a decade, that's impressive in a way that says, we're still here and we're still growing. And here's the kicker. This is officially Twice's highest Hot 100 ranking ever. Let that sink in. After all the hits, all the tours, all the global success they've had, they're still breaking their own records. That's not just talent, that's longevity, relevance, and a connection with fans that hasn't faded even after 10 years. But it doesn't stop there. Takedown, a track sung by Jonghyun, Jihyo, and Chaeyoung, also made waves. It hit number 66 on the Hot 100, which is wild considering it's not even the title track. And on Spotify's US charts for August 10th, Strategy ranked 43rd while Takedown ranked 39th. That means both songs are getting serious streaming love from US listeners. And we know how competitive the US streaming market is. If your song is charting that high there, you're doing something very, very right. Now, let's talk about why this is such a big deal. Twice debuted in 2015. In K-pop years, that's like an eternity. Most groups struggle to keep their momentum past the 7-year mark, but Twice isn't just surviving, they're thriving. And it's not by repeating the same formula either. They've been experimenting with new sounds, collaborating on OSTs, and clearly, it's paying off. Strategy is proof that Twice can still surprise people and capture new listeners while keeping their core fan base happy. Here's where I want to ask you guys something. Do you think Twice's success right now is more about their loyal once fandom sticking with them? Or is it about them attracting a whole new wave of listeners? Because I feel like it might be both. They've got that solid base of fans who've been there since like Oha, but with projects like K-pop Demon Hunters, they're also reaching people who maybe didn't pay much attention to Twice before. And that's how you grow in year 10. You bring in fresh ears while keeping the ones who've been there since day one. And speaking of growth, we have to talk about Chaeyoung. Because while Twice as a group is making history, Chaeyoung herself is stepping into the solo spotlight. She's now the 4th member to go solo after Nayeon, Jihyo, and Suyu. Her first solo album, Lil Fantasy Volume 1, is dropping next month on September 12th at 1 p.m. And honestly, I'm so curious to see what her solo style will be like. Chaeyoung has always been this creative, slightly unpredictable force in Twice. She writes, she raps, she sings, and she has this cool, artsy vibe. I'm betting her solo work is going to be something unique, maybe even a little experimental. But here's where it gets interesting. Think about the timing. Twice is hitting career highs as a group, while individual members are branching out successfully. That balance is tricky. In some groups, when members start focusing on solos, it can signal the beginning of a decline for the group. But with Twice, it feels like it's only making them stronger. The solo projects bring in new fans, give the members creative freedom, and then when they come back together, there's even more excitement. Now, I don't know about you, but I think part of Twice's staying power is the way they've managed to evolve without losing their identity. They've grown up with their fans. If you look at their early concepts and compare them to now, the shift is clear. They've matured musically and visually, and so have once. That's the magic formula for long-term success in K-pop. You can't just do the same thing for 10 years and expect the same results. Twice has kept things fresh while still being Twice. And this Billboard achievement just proves that formula works. For me, the fact that they're climbing the chart 3 weeks in says a lot about word of mouth. People aren't just streaming once, they're coming back, they're adding it to playlists, they're recommending it, and that's how a song gets staying power. And another thing to note is how both Strategy and Takedown are doing well at the same time. This isn't just a one-song success. It's showing that Twice can have multiple tracks resonating with listeners simultaneously. That's actually pretty rare on the Hot 100, especially for K-pop artists, where usually one promoted track dominates. The fact that a B-side like Takedown is charting this high means people are exploring the album in depth, not just streaming the lead single. For a group in their 10th year, that's such a healthy sign. It means fans aren't just here for one catchy hook. They're invested in the artistry. And honestly, it makes me wonder how much of this success comes from Twice's reputation as performers. They're known for their tight live stages, their personalities, and their connection with fans. Maybe that's why people are so willing to give every track a chance. I also think their involvement in the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack was a strategic move, no pun intended. Netflix has global reach, so anyone watching that project might get exposed to Twice's music, even if they've never listened to K-pop before. And once you hear one song and like it, well, you know how it goes. Down the Twice rabbit hole you go. This brings me to something I've been thinking about. Twice's career feels like a masterclass in how to sustain momentum in K-pop. They've navigated lineup stability, military enlistments not being a factor for girl groups, member solos, Japanese promotions, world tours, you name it. And now they're achieving their highest Billboard Hot 100 rank ever. That's not luck. That's smart planning, relentless work, and an incredibly supportive fandom. And here's a little perspective for anyone who might be newer to K-pop. Charting this high on Billboard for a Korean language track is not easy. Even in 2025, the US market is still dominated by English language music. For Twice to be breaking into the top 70 with Strategy and holding steady for 3 weeks shows that language barriers are becoming less and less of an issue when the music is good and the promotion is smart. Now let's talk about Chaeyoung again for a second, because her upcoming solo could play a huge role in keeping Twice momentum going. Every time a member releases solo music, there's media attention, interviews, performances, and all of that inevitably circles back to Twice as a whole. If Lil Fantasy Volume 1 does well, it could bring even more listeners into the Twice universe, just in time for whatever their next group release might be. I also love that Twice is letting each member explore their individual artistry. Nayeon went pop with a capital P, Jihyo showed off her powerhouse vocals, Suyu leaned into her own style, and now Chaeyoung might bring in a more creative, genre-blending sound. It's like each solo project is a different flavor, and when you put them all back together in Twice, it just makes the group richer. So what does all of this mean for Twice's legacy? Well, hitting your career high a decade in sends a pretty clear message. They're not winding down, they're still building. If anything, it feels like Twice has entered a second prime. And that's exciting, because it means we could be in for another wave of iconic releases, sold-out tours, and maybe even more crossover projects like K-pop Demon Hunters. But I want to throw this question to you. Do you think Twice can break into the Hot 100's top 50 with Strategy if it keeps climbing? Because if they do, that would be yet another historic moment for them. And given how consistent they've been lately, I wouldn't rule it out. As fans, these moments are the ones we live for. Seeing your favorite group not only maintain their place in the industry, but actually hit new peaks, it's validating. It's like, yes, all those years of streaming, voting, attending concerts, and defending them online actually paid off. And for Twice, I think they know that too. They've always been vocal about appreciating onces, and this achievement probably means just as much to them as it does to us. So as we celebrate Twice's career high, let's also remember this isn't just about numbers. It's about proving that girl groups can have long, successful careers without fading into nostalgia acts. It's about showing that K-pop isn't just a wave. It's a permanent part of the global music landscape. And Twice is one of the acts leading that charge. To wrap this up, I think Twice's journey right now is the perfect mix of experience, talent, and strategic choices. They've grown up with their fans, adapted to the changing music industry, and embraced new opportunities without losing what makes them, well, Twice. And that's why, 10 years in, they're still making history. Now it's your turn. How do you feel about Twice hitting 69 on the Hot 100 with strategy? Do you think Chaeyoung's solo will keep this momentum going? And where do you see Twice heading in their second decade as a group? Let's get the conversation going in the comments, because I know onces have a lot to say about this. This has been Anyang Buzz, bringing you the K-pop stories that matter and the milestones worth celebrating. Until next time, keep streaming, keep supporting, and as always, keep the buzz going.